Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Phil. This is my 67 F100 and this is my 73 Falcon coupe, which currently has a 3-litre Whipple supercharger sitting on top of a Godzilla, and as of about a week ago the F100 has one now too. So let's take that box off and have a look. Just before I take that box off there and we have a look, this is going to be a relatively short video. I did have some other stuff planned. Yesterday I brought my Colorado, well, tried to bring my Colorado down to the back here to bring some gear down to the shed to do some work, and it ended up like this. So huge thanks to my neighbour James for coming down and pulling me out with his Land Cruiser 300. And I also spent last week in New Zealand, my brother's birthday, my older brother Kevin. Happy birthday, Kevin. Good to see you again, finally. But yeah, so it's been a bit all over the place, and there's some stuff sitting on the other side of the camera here that I don't really want to show just yet. So, and those of you that do know what it is, please don't mention it in the comments just yet. But yeah, let's have a look at this. That didn't work out quite as well as I was hoping for. But yeah, I can't remember if I did a unboxing on that Godzilla, but let's have a look at this. So this is as they come from Ford Performance, all wrapped up nicely. They've got their own little cradle under there, it's a bit hard to see. So if you watched the video 2 videos ago where I moved the cars from my old house to this house, I mentioned Mitch, who lent me his car trailer to do the move. Thanks again for that, Mitch. Mitch does tubs, chassis work, all sorts of fabrication work, and he's going to be doing a lot of work on this. He's going to be filling in this engine bay for me, amongst other things. But Mitch contacted me after I moved and said he had a Godzilla there that he needed to move on. A customer changed plans or something like that, and the engine was sitting there needing a new home. And do I need another one? I do. So we did a bit of a deal. Mitch brought it around on a weekend, and he brought a forklift with him, and he brought it down this driveway, the same driveway that the Colorado was axle deep in, and dropped it down here and moved something else for me as well. So thank you very much again for that, Mitch. But yeah, the engine itself, that came originally from F100's. F100's imported it. F100's Motorsport in Melbourne, which is where the Whipple came from. So yeah, now I've got 2 of them. I can put that 6R80 trans that's hiding back there, I can bolt that up and I can set that on its tough mounts that I made and sit in the truck. And I can do fabrication work on that now while not having to pull the engine out of the coupe, which makes my life a lot easier. So yeah, it's going to stay there on the crate for a little while, all wrapped up all nice and all protected. So yeah, that's the F100's new engine. That's going to go in as is for now. Nothing's changing. I do have some stuff on its way for the coupe's engine, some internal stuff, which we'll go over later. I do have a wish list for the F100's engine now for internals and intakes and things. There are some new Godzilla parts that are on the market that have just come out. Some have been out for a little while, but some have just come out. The PRI, the Performance Racing Industry Trade Show, was just last week, sorry. And there's been a bunch of new stuff released for the Godzilla. So we'll have a quick look at some of that stuff, and we'll go over my wish list. When the Godzillas were first released, when they first came out, everyone was asking straight away, can we make this bigger? Is there going to be a stroker crank for it? At first, there was the thought was, because of the design of the block and the water jackets, there wasn't a huge amount of room for going bigger. They're already 445 cubic inches or 7.3 litres. So Kelly's, as in Kelly's crankshaft, they were at PRI on the weekend. They had this on display. It's a 515 cubic inch stroker crank for a Godzilla. So that's 8.4 litres, which in an engine that fits relatively, I mean, that's not a factory engine bay, but for a small-ish engine, similar size to a Cleveland, 351 Cleveland, 515 cubic inches it's pretty good. That's up there. So I think that'll be pretty popular. I don't think you can go much bigger at all with the block design in the Godzillas. So 515 cubic inches will be, but that's big. That's a big engine. Anything bigger than that, you're going up to the actual big blocks, the old school big blocks. So a long-term plan, I would love a 515 stroker Godzilla in the truck. It doesn't need it, but we're car guys. That's what we do. That's what we do. Now the other big thing for the Aussie guys was how can we fit one of these easily into a Falcon. I didn't go the easy way. I cut the whole front of my car out. We've discussed the oil pumps in them many times. There are options with the Indie Power products, which is an expensive option. It's all billet. It's up there. It's a nice bit of gear, but it's up there. For us, it's very hard to justify that price. There's the local option, which has the external oil pump and fabricated oil pan. That works, that fits. But now, well, late model engines, LME, they were teasing us a while ago with a billet front cover which had an oil pump in it, similar to a Coyote. And they had that on display at PRI on the weekend, but they also had this cast one. So cast drops the price down a lot. It's got all the features we need for a front sump for a Falcon, and same Coyote style oil pump in the cover, which means no oil pump underneath, which means front sump is relatively easy. The other thing with the LME cover is that you can order it with an allocation for a distributor, so you can run a distributor on it. So if you don't want to run EFI, you could get, I think it's Indie Products, do a cast 4-barrel intake manifold. So you could run a carby and a distributor if you really wanted to. So something like that with a 3-speed auto or a manual or something, and something like that would be pretty cool. That's not what I'm doing, but everything factory pretty much fits in that. Indie Power Products also did a oil pump modification, or a new oil pump for the factory location. So you've still got a rear mount sump, but it lifts it higher. It's kind of pretty much the same as the 417 Motorsport setup I've got in mine. It's just a oil pump modification, but theirs is a new pump. So there are a few new things coming out. There are a few new billet intakes as well. I'll chuck some pictures up here. But it's great to see. We knew there'd be stuff coming, but there's a lot coming all at once. So that's gonna, I think, when the engines become more readily available over here, then I think they're gonna take off. But yeah, I've got these two to work with now. So the coupe, I have ordered pistons and rods, balancer, lifters, all sorts of stuff for that. That's on its way. So one of the other things that has been out for a while now that I think I've pretty much got my heart set on one of these intakes for the F100, just because it's just cool. It just looks cool. But Innovate, they are a Queensland company. They've been doing independent throttle body intakes for Coyotes for a long time now. They do stuff for race teams. They released one for the Godzilla with the 8 trumpets. Looks like this. Not a cheap exercise, but I think one of those intakes, 515 cubes, and a few extra bits and pieces, nice cam, and that engine there, and that truck, I think that'll be a pretty cool cruiser. Yes, I just wanted to keep you guys up to date with what I'm doing, what's going on here. I'm trying to keep the videos now a bit more frequent. That is a big update for the truck. That's the truck engine. That's all sorted now. I've got the engine and trans for that. I can move on with this. I've got another thing coming for the truck, which should be here in the next week or two as well, which is very, very cool for me. But with that sorted, engine parts coming for the coupe. I also stopped in at and saw Sot at Speed Garage, and who did the engineering on the car, built the front end, and I finally got a chance to go in and pick up the steering column and another couple of bits for the coupe and the sway bar. I've got this stuff going on behind me here, which should be the next video. So it's all sort of coming together now where I can actually start getting stuck into the cars again, apart from the shed. So I'm doing that at the same time. So I'm going to try and have a video out just before Christmas, or the end of the year at least. I'll see how I go with that. There's a bit going on, so hopefully I get there. If not, have a fantastic Christmas, guys, with your friends and family. Catch up with everyone you can. Stay safe, don't do anything too silly, and look after yourselves. And I will see you hopefully before next year. Cheers, guys.